Sandhills number one morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Hey, you're up early. It's Monday. Be extremely careful what you say. She's in a mood. I haven't had my coffee yet.
Caffeine's a mood booster. Good mood, bad mood.
I got the morning, everybody.
Why are you in such an obnoxiously good mood?
Coffee.
A great mood.
Cup of Joe. What's up, dude?
Hold your ears, folks. Here I come! It's showtime.
I've been writing letters every day now since you've been gone. Talking to you on the telephone for what seems like a whole life long. I got something to give you that the mailman can't deliver. I can't mail it in, I can't phone it in, I can't send it in, even by your closest kin. I'm bringing it to you personally, personally, personally, yeah. I'm bringing it to you personally, personally, personally, yeah. There's nothing like the feeling I get, oh, when you're touching me, baby. There's nothing like the feeling you get when I'm there with you, oh, love. But I got something to give you that the mailman can't deliver. I can't mail it in, I can't phone it in, I can't send it in, even by your closest friend. I'm bringing it to you personally, personally, personally, yeah. I'm bringing it to you personally, personally, personally, yeah.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams.
I'm Matt Horsey, the LeaderMan's mellow sidekick. There's your ease into the work week, but you do have to get up.
Don't forget, of course, we are being heard and seen around the world via our live video stream. That's available to you right now at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is the link. If you're on your mobile device, your YouTube app will get your work done for you. Just put Mornings with the LeaderMan into that search to put us at the top of your results. If you're on your mobile device, just needing audio, well, we have our crystal clear digital audio stream available to you on TuneIn, or iTunes, and many other platforms. Just put WEEB into your search. If you're on a website, it's in the upper right-hand corner of any of our web pages at talk973.com, where the icon says Listen Live. One tap of that, you're listening live. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area. What can I say after the steam bath on the weekend? Does it get any better today? Not really. But tomorrow there is a little hope on the horizon.
In fact, she's right here in the studio with us.
It's going to be partly cloudy today. The front's going to sink down from the north today, and that's going to trigger off some showers. In several places, 60% chance of it triggering it off here, but that's not until after we enjoy a steam bath of 90 degrees and a heat index of 95. But there is some hope, my friends. Tomorrow, the dew points will drop a little. Not huge, but you'll notice it. Mostly cloudy tonight, widespread thunderstorms as that front drifts on down below us and brings in the drier air. Look for a low of 71. Tuesday and Wednesday, you actually might be able to endure being outside a little bit. It's going to be mostly cloudy, though, Tuesday. On and off showers, high of 82. And then Tuesday night, partly cloudy, scattered thunderstorms, a low of 70. Wednesday, will probably, well, we start getting our temperatures back, partly cloudy, still the dew points slightly in check. When I say slightly, we're going to go from dew points in 72, 70 range down to 68, 66 range.
Well, that's pretty good.
It makes it pretty good. You'll notice the difference.
I thought you were talking about like airline seat reclining slightly.
That's about what it is.
No, that's for 5, 6 points. That's pretty good.
Anyway, Wednesday, partly cloudy, isolated showers, high of 89. Thursday, we're right back into the soup. Hot, humid weather. It'll be in the mid-90s right on through the weekend after that. Right now around the sand hills, and plus the humidity returns. I've been looking at dew points all over the country and the world this time of year. There are those that have it worse, obviously, but around America, we're pretty much one of the bad spots. There are those that are hotter, but better dew points. And there are those that you just want to stick them in the bathtub and drown them because their weather is too good, like San Francisco.
Did you look up Fort Benning or Fort Knox?
No. Somebody told me like Odessa, Texas was one of the worst places, but they always have better conditions than we do. Just about. I met somebody at the dog park says, oh, I lived there, and he said, it's much worse than here, and I punched it into my keep file and check it periodically, and they always are better. I don't get it. Anyway, right now, around here, winds are west of 6, visibility 10 statute miles. Those winds will shift to the north tonight. Pressure is 30.06, dew point right now 69. Humidity 87%. It's sunny and 73 currently here at Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB.
Now, when you say the winds will shift to the north, that means they'll be blowing toward the north.
No, from.
Okay, so they'll shift from the north then.
From the north.
Okay. Well, don't say to then.
We'll shift to the north.
We'll shift from the north.
We'll shift to from the north.
This discussion always, when I listen to the news and I'm listening about the rain.
You just want to reach through the radio and slap you.
The wind and stuff, it always hurts my little brain.
Say, the weeds are over there. Go play in your weeds. Right now, around where was I? Humidity 87%, sunny 73. Currently here at Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB, and I know what it was I was going to tell you. Got a call last night from my tower climber, who will be installing the new FM on the new tower in Carthage, and he said his current plan, of course, all this could shift with weather. Could throw his schedule all to pieces.
We got tornado watch today.
Yeah, his current plan is to be here Thursday afternoon and get started.
Good.
And finish, Wednesday afternoon to get started, and then finish on Thursday morning, because he's got to leave by, he said, I got to get out of here by early afternoon and head to Channel 7. He's got a TV tower to climb.
By the way, we don't have...
That's only 2,000 feet up.
Yeah, you don't want a lot of wind and rain and lightning and stuff. We don't have a tornado watch. What I meant was we're watching out for tornadoes today in parts of the state.
Well, the thing with climbers is that when you're up on a tower and you hear it from the distance, it takes a while to climb down. It's not a jump in an elevator thing and go.
What are you talking about, like somebody opening a bag of Fritos or something?
No, thunder.
Oh.
And those guy wires start building up charges on them. And you hear going snip, snap, snip, snip is a weird sound.
Yeah, that'll tighten your sphincters.
That's static coming off of that. But and you got to be careful coming down. I mean, you can only come down so fast because you have a protocol of what you have to do. Protocol meaning a climber's harness has 3 hooks on it, and 2 hooks have to be attached at all times. And you move one down, and then you step down, and then you move another one down, and you step down. And you're unhooking and hooking all the way down. But you never free climb down. Not if you're following the regs.
That's going to be a good robot device in the future. One that just automatically unhooks and hooks.
Every tower is different. It'd be hard to do.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. A robot device, you know. It'll happen.
Yeah, we'll test it out with you.
I'll do it.
Yeah, right. If you ever climb the tower, you'll sit there and you'll climb and climb and climb and climb. You'll swear you're 200 feet up. And you look down and you're 20 feet up.
I know. It is. Looking up from below, it's not nearly as tall as looking from the top there down. Anything.
You can go on YouTube and get, type in free climbing a television tower. There's a video there of a guy. And he wears cowboy boots. You got to remember, climbers are, well, they're a different breed, I guess is the way to put it.
They're covered in tats and have piercings down their back.
No.
Oh.
But they usually got skin like leather because they're in the sun all day. Well, when they get above the tree line, they say they're in the air conditioning. It's usually pretty cool, or at least tolerable. But that metal can heat up and get hot, but they're always wearing gloves. And anyway, some, on that video, it's a 1,700-foot television tower, and they're replacing the antenna at the top. And these guys climb up there, and they stand on an itty-bitty platform just big enough for their 2 feet to stand on, unhooked from the tower. All right, phew, crazy, crazy, crazy people.
Now, in my time in the Army, whether it was jumping out of planes or flying in helicopters or going down rappel towers or whatever, I don't like heights. But when I was comfortable with my equipment, which is what the military does, is train you to be comfortable and rely on your equipment, I had no problem leaning out over a tall tower and looking down, or walking down forward, you know, the side of a tower face down, because I trusted my equipment, which is a great lead-in, by the way. But I wouldn't want to stand on one of those towers with nothing attaching me to it. Friday, I went down for the airborne school graduation of PFC Duval, who will soon be my son-in-law. And
if you allow it.
It was actually good weather. Yeah, no, I'll allow it. That ship sailed. So, congratulations to him. Of course, we then got on the road and came all the way back here from Fort Benning, Georgia, which is right on the Alabama border. And the Army put him and a bunch of other paratroopers on a brand new paratroopers on a bus and sent them to Fort Bragg. So he arrived at Bragg probably a couple hours after we got home. And he is now experiencing life as a real soldier for the first time without drill sergeants or black hats telling him what to do every moment.
Yeah, well, he'll be out there in full gear, training in this heat.
Well, he's been doing it. Fort Benning is...
you know, if I was going to join the military and go to boot camp, it would take on sure be in the winter. It would not be in the summer. I don't care where it is.
He was in South Carolina. He started basic training in July.
I rest my case.
And I remember airborne school. You do physical training in what amounts to a pit full of mulch, and it's good for your knees and everything. But I'll tell you what, when you walk out in the morning and you're already sweating, and then you're rolling around in that stuff, you got wood sticking in your shirt, and
try to cut your hair to a nub so that it doesn't become an issue in your eyes and everywhere else. It just...
I always wore mine in a braid.
You wore it in a man, or I should say, a sissy bun.
Oh, that's right. A sissy man bun.
Well, speaking of...
Did you want me to do what with that pack?
Speaking of fathers, a police officer in Ohio, some people should never wear a police badge because they're in it for the wrong reasons. They think it puts them above the law, and then they try to act like it does. And that makes them a bully instead of a police officer. And they compromise their integrity just to show they have power over you. Case in point, a police officer in Ohio lost his job because he pulled his daughter's boyfriend over, trying to interfere in their relationship. At first, he threatened to put the guy in jail, but eventually he let him go when he realized his daughter was actually in the car. Oops. He talked to two other people in the car for about 6 minutes before he noticed his daughter was right there in the back seat. And then he tried to force her into his patrol car until she started screaming at him.
Apparently she's an adult.
Anyway, here's the audio. I've been first going down, giving the boyfriend a hard time, and then getting in his daughter's face.
Oh. You're going to jail. Get out. Let's see my car. We'll make up as we go. Any guns, knives, weed on you? What's that? Obviously. Go ahead and get smart before I can do something to you, even more. Goodbye. What? Goodbye. What? Goodbye. Get in my car.
You can't take me. I'm 18.
Goodbye.
You can't take her on. She's an adult.
Goodbye.
Hey, well, you can get back in the car. You're in the
No, you're not. Get in my car.
Why are you taking me?
Get in my car.
Why are you taking me? You have to give me a reason. By law, why are you pushing me? Why are you pushing me? Why are you doing this? Turn on the camera, McCully. Turn it on.
Get in my car.
You can't. I think you're leaving. You can't.
Knock it off!
Well, now you can see why he lost his job, can't you?
Gee, that was hard to listen to.
Yeah. The father's guide on how to impress your daughter. Wow. I can understand sitting by the front door with your shotgun, listening for scratches at the front door. But that's going way too far. What's it like when I can imagine some of the guys that some girls drag home. But what's it like when they drag home that first guy to meet mom and dad?
You asking me?
Yeah, well, I don't have a daughter.
I didn't really experience that.
You were gone.
No, she kind of came of dating age when we were in Germany, so we kind of lived there in the area with people, so kind of knew people. And
Well, kill my story, why don't
and then her fiance, she's been with him for 4 or 5 years, and together they've actually been physically together maybe a few months, if that, because they've been separated. So they were together the first 6 weeks they were together. After that, he went with his parents to Kansas when they did a permanent change of station. And anyway,
Well,
I don't know.
Everybody needs a daughter drags home. What daughters ought to do is put their parents, they want them to like, let's suppose they got a boyfriend named Joe. And they want their parents to like Joe. But they know how overprotective they are. So they hire Ben over here. He's got 2 sleeves of tats and tats coming up his neck and all, you know, behind his ear and all that crap. And first she drags Ben home.
Just kidding. Here's Joe.
Watch Mama's dad's eyes just bulge out. You know, maybe a few nose piercings and ear piercings and the big loop and the big loop earring in the earlobe.
Well, when I was in college, I had my left ear pierced, and I had found a.
Well, we can understand that with your gay tendencies, but
I had found a big fish ear. It was flat. It was some kind of metal, and it was covered over in pink, and it was about 3 inches long. This dangly fish skeleton kind of earring. So when I met my wife's parents, I grabbed this thing and put it on and went in, and I was, you know, I had a straight face, and he's a retired reserve sergeant major and all, and I met him, and we had a nice dinner and everything, but I took the earring out and said, just kidding.
he said that hole in your ear is not fake.
No,
No kidding about that.
He was glad to find out that I had just been jerking his chain. He didn't let on anything. It took years later to find out that they were, oh my God. But anyway.
Well, I got another story that, yep, here it is. A woman in San Francisco, this couldn't happen anywhere else but San Francisco. You know, when you're a kid in a big city, sometimes it's hard to just be a kid because you got so many rules of everything you got to do in order to be a kid. A woman in San Francisco called the police. We call her the fun police woman. She called it on an 8-year-old little girl who was trying to get her in trouble for selling bottled water without a permit. So the little girl's out in front of her own home, on the sidewalk, or set up next to the sidewalk, with bottled water, which obviously is sealed, and so you don't have to worry about germs and bacteria or anything else in the water. And I'm sure it was clearly labeled. The girl's name is Jordan, and she was, like I said, selling people outside the Giant Stadium, I should say, trying to raise money for a trip to Disneyland. George's mom took a video of it, and it went viral. And the guy ended up buying, well, we're going to talk about that in a second. But anyway, here's the Miss Fun Police coming up and screwing up everything.
This woman don't want to let a little girl sell some water. She calling police on an 8-year-old little girl. You can hide all you want. The whole world gonna see you, boo.
Yeah, and illegally selling water without a permit? Yeah.
On my property.
It's not your property.
There you go. That's the setup. But a guy saw.
And by the way, it make just philosophically, politically, it makes sense that comes out of San Francisco.
Yeah. Well, technically, she was in violation of the law, but we all know she's going to sell like how many bottles of water, really?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
she's going to impact their bottom line.
This is a girl who wanted to go to Disneyland and got out there and tried to raise some money.
Now,
do it.
If it's the Oakland A's, Major League Baseball is down, so every little bottle hurts.
And with as many people going to the baseball games these days as there are, she may have sold 4 or 5 bottles. But anyway, a guy named Jordan.
You mean like to half the group?
The guy named Jordan saw the video.
Well, the little girl was Jordan.
Okay, where am I?
Guy saw Jordan.
Guy saw Jordan. Guy buys Jordan 4 tickets to Disneyland. But also the woman that made the call admitted later that she handled it all wrong and she wishes it had gone differently. Oh, yeah, since she got plastered all over the internet.
I wish it had gone differently. I wish the mother hadn't had a phone.
And you look like an idiot. But here is Jordan finding out about the tickets.
Somebody seen the video on Twitter, right? And guess what? What? They know you want to go to Disneyland, and they bought you 4 tickets to go.
Well, I think the guy got his money's worth.
Yeah, I was glad you ended that when you did, though. Woo! Nothing can go through your head like a little girl's scream.
Meanwhile, the Wendy's employee got angry at a customer because the customer complained about the food order taking too long. So he shot the customer's car with a shotgun.
Okay.
Needless to say, if you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, might want to stick with McDonald's for the time being. Here's the experience.
You're normally looking just to get your food. You're not looking to get shot at by somebody, especially an employee.
At a Wendy's, it's just really crazy. The whole idea of people using guns to solve problems these days is just ridiculous.
I haven't been to that Wendy's yet. Kind of scared to go there now.
Using guns to solve problems these days. All right. Well, murders by gun and other violent crimes by gun are half of what they were 25 years ago. So, anyway, but you can go to the Wendy's. The guy got arrested.
Well, there's a way to handle it.
It's not a Wendy's policy, I assure you.
You go up to the counter and say, "I'm tired of waiting for my order. Please give me my money back." And end it. And walk out.
Well, and alternatively, if you're the guy behind the counter and you're feeling abused, which is different than a rude customer, you deal with rude customers. You get paid to deal with rude customers politely. But if you're feeling abused, you say, "Ma'am, sir, hold on a second, I'll get my manager."
You know, I was at the Arby's here. And you know, when you order something, and I ordered something simple on the menu, like an Arby's Junior. It wasn't complicated stuff here. And I got told to pull down. Can you pull down to the door there while we make it? Okay. And I know when they do that, it might be a while. So I don't eat anything in the bag, like the fries or I don't even put the straw in the Coke at that point.
They shouldn't have given you your fries, but go on.
So anyway, I wait, and I wait, and I wait. In the meantime, I see car after car after car behind me get served and drive on by. I finally grabbed my 2 things and walked in there, plunked them on the counter, and I said to him, obviously everybody else's order is more important than mine, so give me my money back. Well, that freaks them out because they got to find the manager, and the manager's got to put a special key in the cash register to get your money back. And I said, I don't know why you can't make my 2 Arby Juniors while you're making everybody else's stuff. But you were going to clear your line out, and then you worry about me. And, so I'll go somewhere else from forever. And I have. I showed them, didn't I?
Where do you go now, the Drum and Quill? Well, they don't have a drive-thru.
It's been a long time since I've been through a drive-thru. Seldom go. Break bad eating habits.
Yeah, that's good.
So
they were just trying to help you out. The service down there. You're trying to lose weight? Okay, here. Sit over there and lose weight.
All right, let's take a look at this day in history, this being the 25th day of the month all day long. Some of the things happening on this day, 388 years ago, in 1630, Massachusetts Governor John Winthrop introduced the table fork to America. Back then, we just used our fingers with our dirty fingernails to scoop it up.
Yeah, maybe a knife.
In 1876, General George Custer and 265 white men from the 7th U.S. Cavalry were slaughtered by the Sioux and Cheyenne Indians at the Battle of Little Bighorn in what state?
Wyoming.
Montana.
Yeah, Montana. all indicators are that I've seen, and they made a very good case for it, that they were completely in the wrong, and they got hammered.
Let's see. 21 years ago, 97, Jacques Cousteau died in Paris, age 87. And 12 years ago, Nicole Kidman married country superstar Keith Urban. And 9 years ago, in 2009, Michael Jackson and Farrah Fawcett died within hours of each other. Farrah died of anal cancer. Never heard of that one, but I have now. Michael died because of Dr. Conrad Murray, so they say, because they locked up Conrad. Birthdays today. Ricky Gervais is 57 years old. Oh, here's one for you, Lala Anthony.
Oh, yeah.
Former MTV VJ.
Don't know who that is, but...
39.
Big fan.
Sonia Sotomayor, third woman to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court. Still voting liberal at the age of 64.
Not liberal. Radical progressive.
Liberal. Jimmy Walker, Mr. Dynamite, is 71. Anthony Bourdain would have been 62 today had he not hung himself in a French room. And George Orwell, the author of Big Brother, and in the sci-fi novel 1984, born in the state 1903, died in 1950.
Now, apparently Bourdain has a child or children that are 10 or under.
I don't know. Something was bothering for sure. Let's see. Today's impossible question. The number one thing other drivers do that annoys us the most is what? I'm sorry. The number one thing that other drivers do that annoys us the most is texting while driving. What's number two? It's really in that hard.
Driving too slowly. The fast lane.
I'll give you credit because it's a roundabout way of saying tailgating.
Well, again, that induces tailgating.
Yeah. People don't like to be tailgated. I can understand that on a two-lane road. Nobody likes that.
By the way, there's some states where they'll ticket you if you're poking along, which they should.
Well, they have states where they get over.
Even if somebody's tailgating you, they'll ticket you for causing the slowdown.
Yeah. If you're not passing a car, get over. It's that simple. If you're using the left lane, you got to be in the act of passing.
I don't have to. I'm going the speed limit.
That's their attitude. Let them go around on the right. Yeah. Or go side by side with somebody. That really makes everybody happy.
Oh, man.
All right. It's coming up on 8 o'clock. Here's your news, sports, and weather. We'll be back.
As you leave the house this morning, have the umbrellas in hand. Later this afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely to develop, come in from the north and west. Some of these could be severe. We're watching out for damaging wind gusts, hail, and maybe an isolated tornado. The high in the mid-80s to low 90s. Tonight is mostly cloudy, still a chance for a few showers and storms. The low in the upper 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow is mostly cloudy. Showers are possible, cooler with mid-70s to low 80s for the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
97.3 FM and 990 AM. WPB Southern Pines, Pioneers, Aberdeen. And on the web at talk973.com.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Linda Kenya. The Pentagon is preparing to build temporary camps for immigrants at 2 military bases. Defense Secretary James Mattis says it's appropriate for the military to provide that shelter.
This is something that we can do, again, whether it be refugee boat people from Vietnam, people who've been knocked out of their homes by a hurricane. Absolutely, it's appropriate the military provide logistic support however it's needed.
The Pentagon last week said it would make space available on military bases for as many as 20,000 unaccompanied migrant children detained after illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. It wasn't clear if the housing would be limited strictly to children or if it would also involve families. President Erdogan's main rival in the Turkish election says he accepts defeat, but warns of the dangers of one-man rule.
Muharrem İnce has called on President Erdogan to embrace the whole nation, be the president of not only his supporters, but everyone in this country. I would do that, you should do the same, he said. He talked about irregularities taking place as well during the election process. He said they have observed some vote rigging, and he actually mentioned that blood has been shed during this election campaign.
That's BBC correspondent Selin Girit reporting from Istanbul. Sweden's foreign minister says Turkey's democracy has to improve its shortcomings, but Turkish President Erdogan should be given a chance to do that. Foreign Minister Margot Wallström spoke upon arriving for a meeting of the European Union's foreign ministers in Luxembourg. China and the European Union have agreed to form a group to update trade rules to address tech and other issues and to preserve support for commerce. The EU's vice president says President Donald Trump's tariffs on steel highlighted the need to modernize trade policy. More on these stories at Town Hall.
Stocks and options trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
Fire your stockbroker and hire yourself. I'm Scott Bauer, and I've been a professional trader for over 25 years. I've traded for Goldman Sachs and was the first Amazon market maker at the Chicago Board Options Exchange. I'm also the CEO here at Prosper Trading Academy, the leading educational firm teaching people how to trade the markets. For a limited time, I'm giving away one of my favorite secret trading techniques used by thousands of our students every day to help build their financial future. To learn this technique right now, call my 24/7 voicemail and just leave your email address. I'll email you my free trading technique right away. Just call 1-800-228-2155. This is the very information my students use every day to invest in their financial future. Again, call 1-800-228-2155 in the next 30 minutes and leave your email address on my voicemail. That's 1-800-228-2155. Call 1-800-228-2155.
A survey of more than 800 business leaders by law firm Baker McKenzie shows many European Union companies hope for a profitable future with a post-Brexit Britain.
It found that despite European outrage over Brexit, 95% of companies said they hoped Britain would remain important to their businesses, but expected a new complexity in doing business with the British authorities. Not only will there be higher costs for trading, but also additional administrative burdens that need to be handled. Recently, the EU's chief Brexit negotiator, Michel Barnier, warned Britain must face consequences for leaving the EU, a rather antagonistic stance that didn't sit well with the many business leaders who hope to find a way to extend a profitable relationship. I'm Charles Siladesma.
Funeral services are being held for a teenager shot and killed by police when he fled a traffic stop in East Pittsburgh last week. The shooting of 17-year-old Antoine Rose Jr. sparked protests. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Linda Kenyon. Women in Saudi Arabia now have the right to drive.
A woman's only view used to be from the back seat in Saudi Arabia. Maram El Hazar is the manager of a Ford dealership in Riyadh.
They're trying the front seat, and they're always asking about the things in the front. And this is, to be honest, it's new things for us.
Uzma Shohan is catching on very quickly to the people trying to sell her a car.
I'm a little bit scary about the people. Some naughty guys, you know.
The overwhelming majority of women in Saudi Arabia still don't have Saudi driver's licenses yet.
After 2 or 3 years, after 1 year, it becomes normal, inshallah.
Which means, God willing. I'm Ed Donahue.
North Korea will not hold an anti-U.S. imperialism rally today, marking the anniversary of the start of the Korean War. Last year's event drew 100,000 people. More on these stories at townhall.com.
The drug problems we have in Moore County is because of the dealers and the traffickers who are the end representatives of the cartels. And they've got to be our major focus. Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and I'm backing Steve Adams for sheriff. Wait until you hear this. For years, fentanyl-related overdoses in the U.S. never exceeded a few thousand. By September of 2017, they had accounted for more than 26,000 deaths. It's not the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies that are killing us. Chinese and Mexican and other nations' cartels are producing fentanyl-like compounds called analogs. That allows them to exploit discrepancies in the laws in the U.S. and China and other nations. And that product, along with the other stuff they produce, is what's killing Americans. And that's why it's paramount to concentrate our efforts on removing all dealers and traffickers from Moore County. Let them go somewhere else to peddle their murderous product. Steve Adams is the exact right man at the exact right time to lead this fight. He'll surround himself with the best chief deputy in the best department possible, then he'll take the fight to the street where it belongs. Steve knows that also means providing protection and education to our schools. Enough with the talk about a war on drugs. It's time to get serious. You'll be hearing a lot more about Steve's plan to combat this evil that's slowly working its way into our community. And again, it's just one more reason why I'm supporting Steve Adams for sheriff.
Find out about Steve's plan at adamsforsheriff.com. That's adamsforsheriff.com. Paid for by Adams for Sheriff.
Celebrate your summer with Outback's new Toowoomba Shrimp-topped Victoria's Filet. Seared to perfection and topped with shrimp and mushrooms in a creamy Toowoomba sauce. Or add the Toowoomba shrimp topping to any Outback steak.
Like my favorite, the bone-in, natural-cut ribeye.
Finish this feast with a new chocolate and strawberry mousse cake. Strawberry mousse between decadent layers of chocolate cake with strawberries, whipped cream, and chocolate shavings. Outback Steakhouse on 15501 in Southern Pines. Neck, shoulder, or back pain can be downright debilitating. If you have those issues, you already know that, and you don't need me to tell you about the opioid crisis. There's another, better way. I'm talking about chiropractic, a healing art that's also science. Dr. Sharon Wright of Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes invites you to come in for a discussion about how chiropractic works and could work for you. To be sure, there are many of you out there that have reached the proverbial dead end trying to treat and manage your pain.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
NCN News. I'm Mike Riley. Trump administration officials are still scrambling to reunite about 2,000 children with their families who crossed the U.S. border illegally. They say they've already brought 500 back together.
At the McAllen bus station, around 60 detainees stood in line, ready to move on to their next location.
Where are you going now, do you know?
¿A dónde vas ahorita?
California.
California.
This group is mostly from Guatemala and Honduras. For the most part, they have not been separated from their families.
Who are you with? Who is with you?
Con mi hija. And they say they want to be in the U.S.
Are you scared?
No.
Steve Futterman, CBS News, McAllen, Texas.
Authorities say a South Carolina man died while trying to rescue his dog at a North Carolina waterfall. John Schaefer died over the weekend at Rainbow Falls in the Pisgah National Forest. Lake Tuxaway Fire Chief Carmen West tells WLOS News.
The waterfalls is beautiful, but they're not beautiful when we have to come rescue you.
Friends, family, and others paid their respects to 17-year-old Antoine Rose at a visitation Sunday afternoon in Homestead, Florida. A funeral is scheduled for tomorrow. The black teen was shot and killed by police. No charges have been filed yet, but family attorney Lee Merritt hopes they will be by tomorrow.
I think anyone could look at this video and say that, that was unnecessary. It's not inconsistent with this officer's training. It's inconsistent with police procedure. It's inconsistent with the bounds of the Constitution.
Transgender plaintiffs who think the compromise that replaced North Carolina's so-called bathroom bill is still discriminatory are heading back to court today. The session will be in federal court in Winston-Salem. Crews have recovered the body of a man who drowned in a North Carolina lake. Charlotte Mecklenburg police say 62-year-old Victor Albert Wiggins and 3 other people were on a boat near a sandbar in Lake Wiley about 2:15 a.m. on Sunday when the incident happened. You're listening to NCN News.
Who is the North Carolina High School Athletic Association?
We're dedicated educators, coaches, and mentors.
We are over 200,000 student athletes.
We are 413 member high schools from small towns and big cities, anywhere from Murphy to Manteo.
We're your neighbors and friends that put on the striped shirts and officiate the games you love every week.
We are making a difference in building leaders of communities and this nation for the next generation.
Who are we? We are high school. We are the NCHSAA.
school safety, prison safety, Gen X, incentives, teacher pay, taxes, spending. As state lawmakers tackle these and other issues, Carolina Journal is there, giving you the latest information. Available each month as a free newspaper. Every day online at carolinajournal.com. Carolina Journal, your #1 source for government news that affects you. Visit carolinajournal.com today.
A North Carolina county that once banned solar farms has given a permit to a San Francisco-based alternative energy company after a lengthy court battle. The Daily Advance of Elizabeth City reports the Currituck County Commissioners granted the permit to Ecoplexus to build a farm on a former golf course near Granby. A California teenager becomes an internet sensation over an act of kindness.
15-year-old Clara Daly of Calabasas, California, was supposed to be flying with her mother from Boston to L.A. when their flight was canceled, and they were put on another with a layover in Portland. 64-year-old Tim Cook, who's blind and deaf, was on the same plane, but flight attendants couldn't communicate with him, so they asked if anyone knew sign language. Clara, who learned to sign in school, pushed the call button and signed the information into Cook's hand. They became fast friends. A fellow passenger so moved, she posted a picture of the two to Facebook. It's gotten more than 1 million likes.
Governor Roy Cooper last week named poet, teacher, and community arts advocate Jakey Shelton Green as North Carolina's 9th Poet Laureate. Green told the News Observer her grandmother inspired her to write.
So it's my grandmother who told me, you will write, you will tell. This is what you will do. You will be a teacher. You will write, you will tell the story. Because someone who looked just like you almost died just to know how to read and write.
Uruguay meets Russia today as World Cup soccer reaches a fever pitch.
Britons were braced to smile bravely through the usual World Cup defeats. Instead, pandemonium in pubs and living rooms across the land after England's unprecedented 6-1 victory over Panama. Japan and Senegal tied, but fans for both teams had already made headlines for cleaning up after themselves in previous games, and that's what they did again yesterday. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
We've got a cool front sinking into the area this afternoon. With it, scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected to develop. They'll be moving in from the north and west. They could be severe. It's damaging wind gusts, large hail, maybe even an isolated tornado. Our high in the mid-80s to low 90s. That front lingers tonight. It's mostly cloudy, showers possible, perhaps even a storm. Upper 60s to low 70s the lows. And then Tuesday is mostly cloudy with showers. It's cooler, mid-70s to low 80s the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the Weather Center.
Right now here in the Sandhills, it's sunny skies, 73 degrees, humidity 87%, dew point 69, pressure 30.06, winds west of 6, and visibility at 10 statute miles. It is 8:13. Let's take a look at your Sandhills news for this Monday morning. Emergency crews were paged just after 7:30 a.m. on Saturday morning to the Manning Corporation plant in Pine Bluff. A worker had become trapped in a machine at the manufacturing plant. The medevac helicopter was put on standby as the first crews arrived on the scene. The male victim was pinned in a plastic extruder machine with his arm between two air presses rollers. Crews worked diligently to free the man with a host of heavy rescue equipment. The man was freed after about 30 minutes and immediately transported to First Health Moore Regional by EMS. Authorities did not release the name of the worker or his condition. And deputies arrested 3 suspects from the Bennett area of Moore County following a search warrant. The search took place at the suspect's home in the 400 block of Fall Creek Road. Arrested were Brandon Lee Library, 19, Janice Marie Davis, 45, and Jeremy Shane Davis, 23. Law enforcement seized 82 grams of marijuana, 2 grams of coke, 12 doses of amphetamines, 4 doses of oxycodone, 3 doses of Xanax, and 6 doses of phenobarbital pills and drug paraphernalia. Street value of all the junk, $1,100. That's your latest Sandhills news this morning. Stand by, though. Here comes your latest in sports. Right here and right now on Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. It is 8:16.
NCN Sports. Good morning. I'm Tony Rixby. Offense galore in Major League Baseball yesterday as double digits were commonplace. The Cleveland Indians cruised to a 12-2 rout of the Detroit Tigers and thus expanded their lead in the American League Central Division to 8 games. Matt Lodi has the story.
The Indians slammed 4 homers in the win. They pounded out a season-high 19 hits. They outscored the Tigers 26-3 in their 3-game weekend sweep. Adam Plutko went 6 innings to get the win for the Indians. He improves to 4-1. Francisco Lindor and Jose Ramirez each homered and had 3 hits for the Indians. Matthew Boyd takes a loss for the Tigers. He falls to 4-6.
Elsewhere in Major League Baseball, one game in interleague play yesterday. The Atlanta Braves beating the Baltimore Orioles 7-3. The Cardinals earned a 4-game split with the Brewers to inch closer to the National League Central lead, as we hear from Mike Reeves.
Jose Martinez hits a 3-run home run, and Matt Carpenter adds a pair of RBIs to lead the Cardinals to an 8-2 win over the Brewers as the team split a 4-game series. The winning pitcher is Luke Weaver. He now has a record of 4-6 after winning for the first time since May 11th.
It's just a statistic that is only a bonus, you know. It can really make a guy look really good or really bad, and it doesn't really necessarily tell you the outcome. So I think just continue to go out there and try to eat up some innings, and to get that win was nice, but just to get a win for the team in general was the biggest thing.
Julie Chassain takes the loss and falls to 6-3. Christian Yelich goes deep for the Brewers, who continue to sit atop the NL Central Division, 2 games ahead of the Cubs and 4.5 up on the Redbirds. Mike Reeves, Milwaukee.
Red Sox beat the Seattle Mariners 5-0. Took 12 innings for the Tampa Bay Rays to best the New York Yankees 7-6. The Kansas City Royals losing to the Houston Astros 11-3. Washington Nationals recording an 8-6 win over the Philadelphia Phillies. You're listening to NCN Sports.
This Fraud Watch Alert is brought to you by AARP North Carolina. Last year in North Carolina, there were over 60,000 reported cases of ID theft and fraud. By taking a few practical steps, you have the power to protect yourself and your family and to stop fraud before it happens. The AARP Fraud Watch Network puts proven tools and resources right at your fingertips, informing you about the latest fraud in your community. Sign up for this free service today. More at states.aarp.org/stop fraud.
Attention football fans, the 2018 ACC Preview Magazine is almost here and is available for pre-order right now at ACCsports.com. Get your football fix before the season starts with predictions from the experts, recruiting news, and rankings of the best ACC players and teams. No other magazine dedicates 10 pages to each ACC school, each jam-packed with stats and information. Pre-order your copy today by going to ACCsports.com and clicking on the pre-order banner.
Bubba Watson overcame a 6-stroke deficit to win his 3rd Travelers Championship title. Watson closed with a 7-under 63 for a 17-under total and a 3-shot win.
It was a different victory. It was a different, because again, I wasn't thinking about a victory today. I was just playing golf and trying to stay focused and committed so I could get momentum and confidence going into the next tournaments coming up.
Martin Truex Jr. has won the NASCAR Cup Series race in Sonoma after roaring with past defending champion Kevin Harvick with a clever pit strategy. The defending Cup Series champion waited to pit until his 81st lap, a full 8 laps later than Harvick.
We tried some different things here this weekend and qualified better with it, I think, for sure, but it was off a little bit on the longer runs, but all in all, it worked out for us, and we had what we needed to do.
Clint Boyer finished 3rd. Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
This is the Public Square from the American Policy Roundtable. I'm Wayne Shepherd with Dave Zanotti. More smoke and mirrors. We're talking about the legalization that's going on around the country of marijuana.
Wayne, it's exciting to be a part of the public policy debate in this country and to be used, to have an opportunity to serve in regards to things that are going to impact the next generation. Now, some of us can remember the old days of Woodstock and other things, and we remember what it was like to be a part of a culture where drug use was cool and among youth culture. Well, those days have come back again, and marijuana now is the cause celeb. But something is different. This time, instead of it being chic or cool or countercultural and something that people were getting away with, and really getting away with because it was a criminal element and it was nothing you could build upon. Now we have an industry rising, a multi-billion-dollar industry that is selling more than just product. They're selling a line of reasoning that I think is genuinely subject to honest challenge. And so we've set up a series called Smoke and Mirrors, in which we're challenging the premise of the marijuana industry and what the future holds for the next generation if this industry continues to consume state after state, legislature after legislature, governor after governor, and basically brings us to a place where, without really knowing what happened to us, suddenly people are smoking up on every corner, and it's supposedly all okay. And this week on our long-format broadcast, we brought in Gary Frost, who's a dear friend of the Public Square and a real leader in this work. And so we're talking with him all week on our long-format broadcast.
And that program can be heard on many radio stations and always online at thepublicsquare.com. Once again, thepublicsquare.com. That's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow here on The Public Square.
Jared Kirk and Amy McBride of the First Casualty Insurance Group in Southern Pines talk about the benefits of being an FCIG customer.
Our agency has been in business since 1984. We are an independent agency, which means that we have numerous carriers. Having multiple carriers benefits our customers because it offers them more options for their coverage and price.
One of the most asked questions we get from our clients is how much do they need to insure their home for? Many clients think they should insure their home based on tax value or what they could sell their home for. Neither is correct.
Insurance carriers want to insure your home for the replacement value. Replacement value is what it would take to rebuild your home back to its current state in the event of a complete loss.
First Casualty Insurance Group of Southern Pines. Call them today at 910-692-8303 or find them on the web at fcignc.com.
By using local businesses, you give back to your community, supporting your police, fire, and rescue departments, town maintenance, and schools. You create jobs and friendships. John Cole's Plumbing Professionals has been your plumbing contractor for many years and wants to continue serving this great community for many more to come. For outstanding service, call your local plumber, John Cole's Plumbing Professionals, 910-639-4933, 639-4933. Most people dread going to the dentist, but not at Sand Hills Weekend Dental. Here's Michael from Whispering Pines.
I met Dr. Terry and Sam's about 9 months ago when I had an emergency. Prior to that, which makes this amazing, is I haven't been to the dentist in 12 years. I had some really bad experiences when I was growing up as a young boy, but when I went in there, I clearly was nervous. I had a lot of fear, but Dr. Sam's and her staff put me at ease, took me in, reviewed what we thought we had going on there, and just talked to me in a way that I felt like she really wasn't going to hurt me, which was a big fear that I had for the last 12 years. And I'm really happy to tell everyone I can brush and floss, and I can eat, kiss, and smile better.
Sand Hills Weekend Dental on Highway 211 just past Harris Teeter. Open Wednesday through Friday 9 to 4 and Saturday 9 to 2. Call for an appointment at 910-687-4423. 687-4423.
Aberdeen Carpet and Flooring is having its big summer flooring sale. Now is the perfect time for new flooring, hardwood, carpet, waterproof vinyl plank, and much more. Hurry while supplies are best. Be sure to visit our discount warehouse for additional savings. Aberdeen Carpet and Flooring for all your floor covering needs. Financing is available. Aberdeen Carpet and Flooring on Highway 5 next to Habitat for Humanity. Call 910-944-6204. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 5 and Saturday 9 to 4. Visit aberdeencarpet.com.
At First Bank, North Carolina's largest independent community bank, we know your dream may be to make it possible for your child to achieve theirs. Whether you want to start saving for their education, to pay for a first tuition bill, or to help your student be a smart spender, First Bank offers a wide range of products and services to help you achieve your dreams. From student checking accounts to prepaid debit cards, savings accounts to home equity lines of credit, you'll find a great fit at First Bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. I want to talk a minute about age. In 1966, the Beatles came out with a song that I liked. I liked it a lot. Since I listen to a different type of music now, I hadn't heard this song in a while. Before I tell you the name of the song, let me tell you why I'm not nearly as thrilled with it as I was back in 1966. Yesterday, Sunday, was my birthday. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I will tell you this. It's my last year in my 60s. People who are my age know that what I'm about to tell you is the truth. We may look old, and we may move slower, But inside, we're still in our 20s as far as we're concerned. And no one is as surprised as we are to realize, oh my goodness, I'm old. How did this happen? And when did it happen? And about the last thing I need are reminders. All right, that brings me back to the Beatles song that I used to love. I was singing along with it on the radio a few months ago. My voice is a lot like a tree falling in the forest. It's really good if there's no one there to hear it. Well, anyway, I got to the part about, will you still love me? Will you still need me when I'm 64? And I thought, what? That can't be right. Are you sure it's 64? That used to be such a long way away. And now it's come and it's gone in the Zoom zone.
As you leave the house this morning, have the umbrellas in hand. Later this afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely to develop, come in from the north and west. Some of these could be severe. We're watching out for damaging wind gusts, hail, and maybe an isolated tornado. The high in the mid-80s to low 90s. Tonight is mostly cloudy, still a chance for a few showers and storms. The low in the upper 60s to low 70s. Tomorrow is mostly cloudy. Showers are possible, cooler with mid-70s to low 80s for the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills number one morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Hey, you're up early. It's Monday. Be extremely careful what you say. She's in a mood. I haven't had my coffee yet.
Caffeine's a mood boost. Good mood, bad mood. I got the morning, everybody.
Why are you in such an obnoxiously good mood?
Coffee. A great mood. Papa Joe, what's up, dude? Hold your ears, folks. Here I come! It's showtime. I'm solid gold. I've got the goods. They stand when I walk through the neighborhoods. I'm making it. I've got the chance. I'm taking it. No more faking it. This time in life, I'm making it. Make it. Hello, uptown. Goodbye, poverty. The top of the ladder is waiting for me. I'm making it. I've got the chance. I'm taking it. No more faking it. This time in life, I'm making
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It is time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams.
And I'm the LeaderMan's sexy sidekick, Matt Horsley. Good morning.
Don't forget, of course, we are being seen around the world on our live video stream. That's available to you at talk973.com. One click there will get you where you're going. It's at the top middle of the page. If you're on a mobile device, we suggest the TuneIn app or iTunes and put I take that back. I'm thinking backwards. If you're on a mobile device looking at video, you get the TuneIn app and put Mornings with the LeaderMan in there. LeaderMan, all one word. If you just need audio, we suggest iTunes, TuneIn, put WEEB into that search and you will pop up.
Yeah, you screwed that up. A video is YouTube.
Right. Audio is TuneIn. If you're on our website, you can get either one. Icon to listen is in the upper right-hand corner of any of our web pages. One tap of that icon that says Listen Live will get you where you got to be with one tap. Weather for us today here in the Sandhills area, well, it's another steam bath today. Partly cloudy, numerous thunderstorms. As the front sinks over us later this afternoon, 60% chance of getting wet. High of 90, heat index 95. And tonight, mostly cloudy, widespread thunderstorms, a low of 71. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, more showers, 82 for high, but we'll see lower dew points tomorrow. And, of course, lower temperatures. It'll be, 90 today with a feeling of 95, and tomorrow it'll be 82. So at least that's going in the right direction.
That's a huge drop.
And lower dew point. When I say lower, it's not going to be 50-40 stuff. We're talking about 66, 68. So
I'm going to be out with my chainsaw tomorrow.
Tuesday night, partly cloudy, more scattered thunderstorms possible, low of 70. And Wednesday, partly cloudy, isolated showers, 20% chance of getting wet, high of 89. But still, the dew points will be in your mid to upper 60s and not in the low 70s, which just cooks you to death. Friday, back to the steam bath, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back to the steam bath with highs in the mid-90s again. And heat index around 100 to 102. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are west of 6, visibility 10 statute miles, pressure is 30.06, dew point 69, humidity 87, sunny 73 degrees here at Talk 97.3 FM and 990 AM WEEB. Well, Matt wasn't here Friday, so didn't get a chance to beat him up. I know how bad he misses that.
Hey, before you do that, I want to say that I don't like all the songs you choose, but
because they're not long hair hip type.
But that last one really sucks.
It was a TV song.
Yeah. Don't never play it again.
Oh, now he that. Just for that, you're gonna get a dose of it. I'll play the rest of the half hour. How's that sound?
Well, if it was just me sitting here, that'd be fine. But you've got a whole world,
hundreds of thousands of listeners,
a whole world of listeners having to endure it too.
Well, they like it. It's a good, happy song. Wake you up, stuff. What can I say? All right, 8:32, 32 past the hour. Let's do beat up, Matt.
Bring it on.
With a little skit here that we like to play called Yes or BS.
And now it's time for Yes! Yes! Or BS!
All right. Time for another rousing round of Yes or BS, where we'll give Matt a simple statement. He'll say yes is true and no is total BS. Sleepless in Seattle came out... Sleepless.
Oh. I hadn't seen Sleeveless.
Well, maybe come over there and hurt you. It's too early. Came out 25 years ago today. So that's the topic. All right, question 1. Which should be just a slam dunk for you, but probably not. All right, question 1. Get some stuff out of my way so I can play. All right. It was Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan's first movie together. Meg was the one in that little intro going, yes, yes, yes, yes.
No, that was the wrong movie.
It was Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan's first movie together.
It was, but that's not where she was
You're saying it's BS?
faking the big O. No, I'm saying it's true.
It's true. No, you're incorrect. You want to guess what their first movie was?
No, because I thought that was their first movie.
Joe versus the Volcano in 1990.
Oh, really? I've never seen that one. That came out first, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But the Yes, Yes, Yes one was When Harry Met Sally.
They also did You've Got Mail.
Yes, they did.
In 1998.
Back when AOL was relevant.
It referenced the soup Nazi 2 years before Seinfeld did.
BS.
Yeah, the soup Nazi episode was based on the real guy in New York. And there's a scene where Meg Ryan's reporter character walks into a room where, while someone pitching a story about a soup vendor who's the, quote, meanest man in America, the screenwriter revealed years later that it's a reference to the same guy.
So they didn't say soup Nazi in it?
Yes, yes they did.
No, they didn't.
I have tape.
Okay, good, play it.
All right, 2 years before Seinfeld, it had its Snoop Nazi episode, a scene from
Snoop Nazi?
a A scene from Sleepless in Seattle mentioned the guy. Here is the actual movie footage.
Greatest soup you've ever eaten, and he is the meanest man in America. I feel very strongly about this, Becky. It's not just about soup. Tell it, what else?
There you go.
So they didn't say soup Nazi?
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't. I didn't hear Nazi anywhere in there, Steve.
Yes. And here's the Seinfeld Snoop Nazi scene.
Medium turkey chili, medium crab bisque. I didn't get any bread. Just forget it, let it go. Excuse me, I think you forgot my bread.
Bread, $2 extra.
$2, but anyone in front of me got free bread.
You want bread?
Yes, please.
$3! No soup for you!
No soup for you.
It was a funny episode.
Yeah.
But
no soup for you!
Anyway, I shouldn't have gotten buzzed because
yes, you should have.
They did not reference soup Nazi in When Harry Met Sally.
Tom Hanks, real life. Well, you did get buzzed. So you missed them all so far. Tom Hanks. See, already, if you get the next ones right, you are getting a 60, which is failure.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
Tom Hanks' real-life wife played his sister in the movie.
Played his sister? Yes.
Yes, she did. Rita Wilson played his sister Susie, even though they've already been married about 5 years at that time. None of it was actually filmed in Seattle. It was shot in Vancouver.
Yes.
They considered filming in Vancouver, but chose Seattle in the end. They also shot a few scenes in Baltimore, Chicago, and New York. And lastly, Tom Hanks' son in the movie calls into a late-night radio show to talk about his mom who passed away. Sleepless in Seattle is the name of the radio show.
No. BS.
That's correct. Sleepless in Seattle is the nickname for the radio host gives Tom Hanks' character.
Yes. There, I got 2 in 1 question.
No, you got a 40.
No, I said yes.
Which is inning half.
Was it...
It's a solid failure.
Was that the name that she gave Tom Hanks' character? Yes. Yes, it was. I got that right.
No, that was just an after...
Says you.
Let's see.
Marcia, or should I call you? We're dealing with it.
Pull it down.
And Jonah and I will get along just fine again.
There he comes.
Yes. Don't answer that. Let's get into that right after these messages. Sam, Jonah, don't go away. If you've just tuned in, we're talking to Sleepless in Seattle, and we'll be right back after this break with your listener response.
There you go. Just so you know.
I already knew. I got it right. Thank me.
All right. Also, last night, I know Matt was a little tired this morning from sitting up and watching the BET Awards.
Yes. But they were good. They were worth staying up for.
The 2018 BET Awards, whatever they were awarding.
Oh, BET. Yes, I did. That's what I was watching.
A police officer tried to shut down a live red carpet interview. I guess he just didn't recognize anybody on the red carpet, but here's the police shutdown of that.
Who designed this tonight? Because I need that look. Man, style by Brian Javari, man. This is grayscale. Did both of us. Absolutely, really dope. Excuse me, sir. You know we're live on TV.
We're live on television right now, sir.
What's up? No. We're live. We'll be back, sir. It's okay, sir. It's all right. You can handle that.
My father is a firefighter.
The security coming on.
He is.
It's okay. Because nobody shuts down.
It just got real, you guys.
So, Tate, we'll be right back with more after the break. Officer Andrews, let's talk. We'll be right back. No more, guys.
What was he trying to shut down the interview for?
Because he has a security badge. That makes him in charge. And by golly, nobody was doing anything where he could strut that badge, so...
Oh, man.
I've declared this a fire hazard. You'll have to shut down.
Oh, is that what it was? It was a fire
I
hazard?
have no idea. I'm just...
Yeah, whatever.
Guessing. You know, some people have a little bit of authority, and they got to make sure that you feel it. All right, let's get on with rim shots this morning. So much to do, so little time to get it done, but we're going to try to work it all in. Rim shots. Okay. Like I said, the BET Awards were last night. They were held in Hollywood, and the most common answer guests on the red carpet gave when asked the question, "Who are you wearing?" was, Kevlar, of course. Alec Baldwin wants Melania Trump to appear on Saturday Night Live with him because he's tired of reading cue cards and would rather read his lines off the back of Melania's jacket. What was with the jacket?
It's chic.
It is?
Yes, it is. If it's written by a designer who charges a lot of money for it, then it's chic.
ABC announced that they will bring back a version of Roseanne that doesn't have Roseanne Barr or viewers. Boy, don't be interrupting my flow on the joke. What were you saying?
It was a hilarious joke, too.
It was. What totally ruined. Kim Kardashian says the border crisis is heartbreaking. Technically, she says it does her heart what her butt does to chairs.
It does to her heart. I'll help you out here. I got your back.
Tom Arnold says he's going to, quote, take down Donald Trump. I told him that's fine, but I'm not going to give him a 5-star Uber rating anyway.
Now, he is an expert in something, so CNN had him on. Believe it or not.
Oh, trying to be relevant?
Of course we believe it. CNN will have on anybody.
Mr. Cokehead, USA.
Hey, don't, just because he uses...
Sound like he have a clothespin on his nose the whole time?
Talking fast and jumping around just because he uses a lot of cocaine doesn't mean you can have a...
And he talks like this the whole time because he can't breathe through his nose. Because it's all coked up. A recent poll found that 70% of Americans approve of President Trump's handling of North Korea. Pollsters will find out how North Korea feels about it once they find somebody with a phone. North Korea's government is getting rid of most of its U.S. propaganda. So South Korea will still... Will you finish what you're doing?
Would you just be a professional and
if you get
take
the
care of
wrong one,
things?
it affects other things.
Oh, would you get on with it?
I've been playing with my volume switches. A recent poll found that 70%... Where was I? North Korea's government is getting rid of most of its anti-U.S. propaganda. So North Koreans who still want to see an anti-American message will have to, of course, watch MSNBC or CNN or NBC or ABC or CBS or read the Washington Post or New York Times, and the list goes on.
More Two Citizens has a very good video up today about that.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders was asked by the owners of a Virginia restaurant to leave because she worked for President Trump. "Hey, Sarah, you're always welcome here," replied the owner of the International House of Deplorables. I was reading online all the people who posted their opinions of her being shushed out the door because she worked for Donald. They weren't very complimentary. For the second year in a row, Bernie Sanders' income was over $1 million. Gee, let's see. I guess when your wife works for a bankruptcy university and gets that big golden parachute, you can get that income up there, can't you? She got a big chunk of money while the university went under.
He calls it democratic socialism, but, you know, socialism is
Get your government
communism
job,
without guns. That's all that is. But and he's a hypocrite, like all party officials.
When he ran for president last time, on his campaign report, he put his net worth at $455,000.
And yet he owned 3 houses at the time.
No, he didn't at the time, but last year he bought his 4th house.
Yeah, that's what I said. He owned 3 houses at the time.
And, it just amazes me how a U.S. senator can have so much and become a multi-millionaire in the process.
Nancy Pelosi quadrupled, I think it was, her net worth in 10 years.
Well, it's not illegal for them to do insider trading.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's good for them. You don't get to do.
Her husband bought up a bunch of property that ended up being near where subway stops are going to be.
Now it sounds like Johnson. He sold all his swampland to NASA in the Houston area. Gee, wonder why that worked. Oh, and Dick Kennedy, he had a bunch of surplus government buildings that he leased back to the government for ridiculous fees.
Who was the little weenie from Nevada?
I don't know. There's so many.
Harry Reid. Harry Reid bought a bunch of desert land and sold it for huge money because they're going to build a bridge or something over there.
Mm-hmm. Record 47 million people are expected to travel over the 4th of July holiday, all of whom will get on the highway at the exact second you leave for your vacation, then spend the next 6 hours driving 35 in that left lane.
They will.
It's unbelievable.
By the way, Mitch McConnell and his wife have made millions on a Chinese-related business. That guy should be dumped.
All of them should be dumped.
Not all.
We should have a 535 dumping fest. And start again. Coco, the gorilla who knew sign language, was laid to rest in an animal sanctuary on Saturday. She proved that all you need to communicate with the world were 5 fingers. Or in New York City's case, just 1.
Apparently they thought she was saying, "I love you," but she was just clutching her chest in a heart attack.
Each year, there are anywhere between 70 and 100 shark attacks worldwide, resulting in about 5 to 15 deaths. And 1 to 3 Sharknado sequels are resulting from all that. All right, that's your rim shots for today. It's 12 before the top of the hour. 7:48 on this, what is this? Monday morning, right?
The 25th. My pretty, and your little dog too.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had that treat, you go to school.
All right, my friends, it's time once again. Sucking a big breath of air, let that big hairy chest stick out. Strut across the floor like you own it in the style of Dwayne, the Duke, John Wayne. Open up your closet doors and look at all 30 of your Liberty safes. Now we'll shoot on over to safe number 16. Open this one up. We haven't been open in about a year. Let Matt reach in and grab one.
All right, Steve, this is going to be kind of power week, so I'm going to give you a Rock Island Armory TAC Ultra FS. That is a semi-auto in 10 millimeter, and it's made in the Philippines, so if there's a problem with it, you can call for help.
All right, well, we'll throw that on. pin on our badge, grab 5 cans of Super Warpass as we now head out the door. And relentless pursuit of some stupid criminal news. Stupid criminal news number 1 this morning. We see car thieves who get foiled all the time because, well, they can't drive. We never see them foiled by something much more basic, like this guy was. A guy in Salem, Pennsylvania. You ever been there? No. Well, he tried to steal a pickup truck out of a driveway last week. It had the keys inside, so it was the only thing standing in his way was a car behind it in the driveway. But the guy just could not pull off a 3-point turn to get out. Surveillance video shows he kept trying to bang and kept banging into the other car until finally he gave up and ran off. Police are still trying to track him down. Stupid criminal news number 2. This guy was just one shower away from the perfect crime. But it turns out that it was just too much to ask. A 35-year-old guy named Barry O'Prey. That's a name I could do a lot with. O'Prey. Anyway, broke into a guy named broke into a guy. That's assault. That doesn't sound right. Broke into a guy named Ryan Boyd. Okay, now it does. Barry O'Prey broke into Ryan Boyd's apartment in Paisley, Scotland, earlier this year. Barry stole Ryan's PlayStation 4, his Nintendo Switch, and a whole bunch of games worth about $1,300. And when Ryan got home, boy was a little pissed because he found that he had been robbed. But he noticed a very strong and awful smell in his house. It was the smell of horrible body odor. Man, you really got to stink to linger that long. I guess. It's like Matt always wonders why when he walks in a room, eyes water at the sight of him. I thought they were just cheering up at the emotion. The emotion. Yeah. Anyway, where was I in my story? All right, but Ryan had smelled it before. Earlier that morning when he walked past a guy sitting on the bench near his apartment, and yeah, the guy was Barry. He passed that information on to the police, and they were able to track down Barry. He was arrested for burglary, and last week he was in court and pled guilty after he got a shower. And last but not least, cannot go the day without doing this one. Something tells me this guy is not a criminal mastermind. I don't know. You be the judge. A guy named David Minzer of Columbus, Ohio, robbed 4 banks over the past month, but he was caught thanks to an incredibly dumb thing he did during his 3rd robbery. That was on the June 4th, and he went to the Huntington Bank branch and told the teller he had a gun and he wanted money. And the teller gave him some cash, but David demanded more. So the teller told him they needed a driver's license to get the machine to move to get more cash. Well, David, being the master criminal he is, believed it and handed over his license. The teller passed along the info from the ID to the police. They called David about 2 weeks later. It's not clear what took them so long, especially since he robbed one more bank in between. But hey, at least they got him eventually. And that's your stupid criminal news for today. Quick thinking teller. Okay. It is 8:54, 54 past the hour. Let's, Matt's saying, I want my favorite part of the program. I'm holding up both fingers, Steve. Here they are. Read them.
And now it's time for
Random facts. 1, 2, 3.
All right, a random fact for today, maybe, if you're good, a spare. Random fact number 1. It is illegal to boil lobsters alive in New Zealand and Switzerland. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought if you didn't boil them alive, that that they have no nervous system, so they don't feel it. But they'd spoil the meat if you didn't.
Well, I mean, if you kill them right away and then boil them, it's not going to spoil the meat. But yeah, my understanding is they don't have a pain sensory system.
Tron was nominated for the Oscar for visual effects in 1982 because the Academy felt the producers cheated by was not nominated because the Academy felt that the producers cheated by using computers. The Who has never had a #1 hit in America. The best they've ever done on the Billboard charts is 9th. Do you know what song it was?
It was that Teenage Wasteland.
You still want me? Well, that says maybe, but you gotta stand trial because all the while I can see for miles and miles.
That was their biggest hit. They got to number 9 before it fell down the countdown. Casey. All right, it's enough of them. Cue the other music back. Thank you. The red juice you see in a package of meat in the grocery store isn't blood. Pretty much all the blood is removed during processing. It's a mixture of water and a protein called myoglobin. Who knew? And September 12th is a holiday in Russia called the Day of Conception, where people get a day off of work to try to make babies.
I wonder if that's been around since the Soviet days, because there are a lot of, this is no joke, there are a lot of socialist countries that are pushing hard on their people to make babies because their elderly population is growing and their producing population is shrinking.
Or leaving. Or drunk.
I mean, you know, places like Italy have a birth rate of just over 1. So that you can't sustain, you got to have like a 2.7 or something to sustain a population.
Gee, maybe it's because can't afford all the taxes.
Yeah.
And they can only afford 1 child.
Could be. I think it's other things like wealth and selfishness.
All right, so it goes for this Monday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9 for a titillating Tuesday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs. And don't forget, millions of Americans have fought and have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. Live today worthy of their and their family sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams of the LeaderMan, and Nick and Cook the dog. We'll all see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the hot, steamy dog park.
Philosopher Voltaire said that our wretched species is so made that those who walk on the well-trodden path always throw stones at those who are showing a new road. I'm Matt Horsey. I'll see you tonight at Philly and Colts at 5, where we'll learn about affiliated political groups or committees or whatever they're called. And we'll be back tomorrow right here at 7 o'clock.